Oh, word up, everyone. It's story time. I was first exposed to Buckethead when I was 13 years old. My friend asked me to go over to his house to listen to him try to beat the hardest song on Guitar Hero 2. We go to his house and this kid just couldn't play the song. He made it sound terrible. He was so bad at playing that I straight up left his house and went back home after he restarted the song several dozen times. A few days later, I was hanging around and thought, hey, I wonder what that one song he was trying to play was supposed to sound like. So I went onto this new website called YouTube to try to find it. And sure enough, there it was. I loved it! I wanted more! So I went to a computer program called iTunes and found these. Little did I know, this guitarist would be the primary variable in my personality for the rest of my life. It took close to 5 years for me to end up going to my first Buckethead show in Anaheim, California in July 2011. During the show, I looked around and noticed I was one of the youngest people in the audience. I was 18 years old at that point, and everyone else was in their mid-20s to early 40s. I still enjoyed the show very much. Heck, I got a very rare Big D appearance. I then go to college in Utah and saw Buckethead again 2 more times. Then I got an internship in 2018 back in my hometown of Las Vegas and got to see Buckethead again. I took a picture there, uploaded it to Facebook, and somehow years later, Buckethead got a hold of it and offered signed copies of it on his website. And yeah, I got one. Here it is, displayed on my crap from my personal life shrine in my office. Later in 2018, I decided to create this outrageously unpopular YouTube channel. I then met some awesome people at the Fillmore in 2023 in San Francisco, and saw him in Eugene 2 years in a row at the McDonald Theater. During my latest Eugene show in 2025, I was looking around at everyone in the audience once again, and noticed that pretty much everyone was my age or younger. In 2011, I was one of the youngest ones there, but in 2025, I was not. Usually people grow up with you, but apparently not this time. I actually decided to survey a couple hundred Buckethead fans to find out how old they are, how long they've known about Buckethead, and how many shows they've been to in order to see if what I was observing had any justification. Okay, look, I know a couple hundred isn't enough of a sample size to justify an adequate representation of the entire Buckethead fanbase, but the results still suggest interesting possibilities, alright? First off, look at this. This shows the percentages of people who have known about Buckethead for given periods of time. It's pretty amazing to see 25% of respondents have known about Buckethead for over 20 years. Not a surprise, given Buckethead has been a thing since like 1990. You might assume that would result in an older fan base, but look, here's the age distribution for all Buckethead fans who took the survey. We've got a major peak in the millennial and Gen Z age ranges. Remember the chart showing the people who have known Buckethead for over 20 years? Half of them are in this column here, ages 30 to 39. As for the tallest column, 18 to 29, more than half have seen him live, and on average first discovered Buckethead 8 years ago. Again, this is just a small sample of the Buckethead fanbase. I think personally that reality may not favor as much of the 18 to 29-year-old column, but I'm still surprised that there are this many. For me, it raises a huge question. How can someone who debuted in 1990 have such a young fan base? Well, gee, I don't know. Here are my theories. Firstly, remember this chap searching Buckethead on YouTube for the very first time? Did you know that Buckethead was legit among the first ever uploads to YouTube? Like, ever! The first video ever uploaded to YouTube was in April 2005 as a test by YouTube's developers to make sure the website actually worked. But YouTube wasn't public until December of that year. The first Buckethead video ever put on YouTube was uploaded the very next month. Heck, Google didn't even acquire YouTube until October 2006. Then its popularity skyrocketed. Buckethead has been on YouTube almost since day one. Remember this chart? These guys were all over YouTube in its early years, man. And Buckethead was there the whole time. This was great exposure for him and likely acted as a boon to his career post Guns N' Roses. Secondly, have you ever sat for a second and just looked at this guy? Despite all the malarkey society's been throwing at us for the majority of our lives, this is still a unique looking individual. If you were an iPad kid growing up and now have a TikTok account and don't have an attention span that will last longer than half a second, that's okay. Because if you're doom scrolling and you see this guy who looks like that and is playing a wild looking guitar, this will probably keep your attention for a little while. Look, I know this guy was around during the time that MC Hammer was telling people you couldn't touch stuff, But I think Buckethead is still pretty fresh and unique to the layperson. Okay, this leads to the conclusion of the video. What does the future hold? Hold on just a second, brace yourselves for what I'm about to tell you. Buckethead is in the middle of the 4th decade of his career. That's right, the 4th decade. Based on what I've seen, he is still wicked creative, can still play very fast, complicated, beautiful, wonderful pieces of music, and is still doing interesting and unique things. He still releases lots of music. He's collaborating with newer, younger talent. He's made a second appearance on American public television. He's gonna perform at the Aftershock Festival in October. And guys, there's gonna be a Bucketheadland themed Palefest at the end of July 2026. Look it up, dang it! Here are my final thoughts on all the crap I've shared with you so far. When guys like me start YouTube channels during an easy semester of graduate school with no kids, no job, and no mortgage, there's lots of content to be released. But as the years go by and you add kids, jobs, and mortgages, you're kind of forced to slow down and consider sunsetting your old hobbies. Buckethead, however, doesn't appear to be slowing down with me. If anything, it's pretty clear that the other 25% of fans on the other side of this chart are ready to help him explore the future. To close, I'd like to thank you for watching, not just this video, but all the other crappy productions that I've made over the years that you may have seen. Thank you for being part of such a great community and for helping Buckethead navigate the 4th decade of his career. And finally, I'd like to hear your story of how you came to know Buckethead. Tell us about it in the comment section below.